That varies by how much I put the accelerator down.
The oil gauge is also pointing to trouble.
That's reading quite high. It's nothing to worry about. It's probably just sort of being careful, you know, like once I get everything all back down to cool down again, it should go out.
Slicing through the heart of the Strzelecki Desert, the Strzelecki track is 500 kilometres of scorching heat, jagged rocks and blinding dust.
Tyres, radiators, suspension, smash vehicles.
And exposing Josh to even more problems, he'll be carrying the maximum payload allowable on his rig. A 30-year-old truck he restored himself.
It's a passion, you know what I mean? Like, anyone can go and buy a new truck and run it up the road.
It's older than he is, but he's confident it's up to the task.
They're not the most comfortable thing, but they're reliable, and if you look after them, they'll look after you.
Not so reliable today is Josh's trailer.
No electrics on the dolly and back trailer, so better get me tools out and pull the plug apart. Needs fixing. We've still got no luck. Have to ring an electrician.
With no brake lights or indicators, Josh is stalled.
80 tonne of road chain stopped by a $7 trailer plug.
Yeah?
On a winner.
After sorting his trailer's electrics, Josh Beattie is heading towards the Outback's biggest gas fields. With 50 tonnes of vital steel pipe in tow. On this run, Josh can't afford any hold-ups. In 3 days' time, he's flying overseas on business.
Because I got to go over to the USA next week, and if I get up there and it starts raining or something, might not get back to be able to go overseas.
Next morning, Josh has reached the small outpost of Lyndhurst, gateway to the Strzelecki track. Time to head into the unknown.
It's always going to be a challenge, every trip, but yeah, it sort of adds to the excitement.
Bitumen gives way to savage stones and endless horizons.
We get to our destination, we got roughly 400 k's of dirt. So yeah, all day to do what we need to do today.
It doesn't take long before Josh's first hazard appears. Superfine dust, known as bull dust.
There's no wind to blow the dust away, so it just hovers.
And now, a car coming the other way. Visibility, zero.
Best thing you can do is just wipe your speed off and slow right down until you got clear visibility.
Just months ago, a similar set of events led to a serious crash.
There was an accident caused by someone driving in the dust, and yeah, it wasn't a head-on, it was a rear end. But yeah, not good. Everyone survived luckily, but yeah, rode a truck off.
Josh is starting to feel the pressure of his deadline.
We got to get this product there sort of sooner rather than later, because it's got to go out to the rig to get drilled in the ground, and they're waiting for it. And but we can't rush either, because if we smash the truck or break down, we won't make it at all.
Right on cue, a section of road littered with potholes. Filled with bull dust, they're nearly impossible to see.
If you hit one, the worst thing that could happen, you could roll your truck over, because you don't know how deep they're going to be until you've actually committed and you're in it. So yeah, the road's deteriorated quite a bit since we dropped down into the basin here.
And now, soft sand.
When I hit the sandy patches or the softer bits, you can just feel that extra drag go on instantly as soon as you drop into it. It feels like you've had another trailer hooked on the back here.
It's a fine line. Too fast and he could break something. Too slow and he could get bogged.
Hit the soft spots with enough speed to get to the other side, but then you don't want to hit it too fast and, yeah, damage your vehicle.
Up ahead, an especially bad section marked with hazard signs. Josh doesn't have the speed he needs.
Yeah, lost the momentum. I just slowed down too much.
Keeping a steady speed is crucial.
You stop moving, you get stuck.
Safely clear of one bad patch. But the atrocious conditions are eating into his schedule.
Now I've contacted the site where we're unloading. I've committed to get it off this afternoon.
Josh's load is also coming under fire. Pipes sliding backwards and forwards. Push too hard and he might lose more than just his deadline.
Yeah, we've got a vehicle approaching. I don't know if it's a car or a truck. It's extra dust.
Did you get a bit soft about 3k ahead of you there, mate?
No worries, thanks, I'll wait.
It's the last thing that Josh expected to hear in the desert. Mud ahead.
So we go from running through bulldust holes now to running through muddy holes. The terrain changes so quickly. Oh, always nervous, but yeah, you just get used to it. You just keep tackling what's ahead. It's gone downhill real quick, hasn't it? The roads get quite soft here. Yeah, it was fairly soft, but I just had to put the boot into it and get the bloody truck through it.
At last, a welcome sight. The Moomba processing plant.
Yeah, you think you're never going to get there, and then you come over the top of a sandhill and the Moomba just pops up in front of you. Sort of big relief when you see it.
Three trailer loads of construction materials worth $100,000. A triple road train, 53.5 metres in length. With a rough ride guaranteed, Steve will have his work cut out, delivering this load in one piece.
So I've got those big long pieces of steel going up there and they were rocking up and down and they'd worn through the strap. That may happen again.
Day 2 of Steve's eastbound run. And he wants to know what lies in store.
All other roads, the John Ranks are open to all traffic.
That's good news. The roads are open. The bad news is it hasn't been graded. And it's about, I don't know, 37, 38 degrees here. That bit of road that I'm worried about over there, it'll be gutless, hot, dry sand by the time I get there tomorrow afternoon. You can't scull out the bottle all the time. You're a dope, now you'll be spewing. You want a drink or what?
Time to drink up before the big dry.
Come on, this is a desert.
On the bitumen, it's a smooth run, despite the distractions.
We've got a few hitchhikers in, a few flies. The little buggers drive you mad when you're trying to drive and they crawl under your sunglasses. You want to come trucking out here, you've got to get used to flies and mosquitoes and sandflies and spiders and snakes. You don't have to worry too much about people out here. Nearly 1,200 kilometres under my belt since I left last night. So that sets me up for a good kick-off in the morning to cross the desert. Look at that rolling cloud over there.
And on the ground, another concern.
There's a lot of camel tracks on the road. I've got to keep my eyes open here. It's a nice cool day, so they'll possibly keep moving around all day, and then you get past a clump of trees like this and they leap out. They're all over the road.
First introduced by Afghan traders, over 300,000 feral camels roam freely through the outback. When temperatures climb, they go hunting for water, often damaging crops, water holes, and trucks.
Head-ear camel's no good. Usually because their body's high up, you get your air cleaners knocked off, or you get seriously, really, really bad damage, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth. So I don't want to hit them. I've got my eyes peeled.
But over 30 half-ton wild animals aren't too hard to spot.
Bloody camels on the road. You've got to watch these creatures. They'll go any which way. And I hope the idiots don't settle down for a big run down the road. Come on, children, get off the road. Girls. That was quite a good, healthy-looking mob. There should be. The country's looking beautiful. They're living the dream life in the dream desert. A bit over 700 kilometres on the dirt. I'm happy with that. Well, it's another day. Things are holding up all right. It's good.
Steve's made it to his first drop-off, a roadside handover to a mechanic from a nearby community.
I'll sort him out, I'll unload his bit of stuff here, and then I can get on with the rest of my day.
A handful of packages are no trouble, but the next part of the delivery could be.
We're going to pull these two tyres off.
2 super-sized truck tyres.
We'll just pull it back this way a bit, and then we'll stand it up.
And one is on the rim, weighing in at over 150 kilograms.
What about if I drop this one on there and then just drop that one on? Yeah.
Enough to cause serious damage to a shoulder Steve injured not long ago.
Yeah, I don't want to break anything into you.
And if it hits the ground,
Put it on that one.
there's no way to lift it back up.
You right, mate? You're going to have it any second now. You've got it. I'll just work it across. Just give me a minute. And you'll have to be in charge of flipping it and all that. You're right on the limit of what a couple of fellas can handle. It's not the best way to start the day. It's not good for my back. But anyway, that's that delivery done. Come on, we got to go to work. We got to go to work, dog.
And today, Steve will earn every dollar. He's closing in on the sandy track that's been playing on his mind for 2,000 kilometres.
You can't help but notice as we get further out, we're getting towards Docker River now, the road is deteriorating. I've got my tyres let down, but still doing damage to the gear and the freight that you can't see. When I hit that border, if it's the same as what it was before, there is no road. It's no man's land. The road's been turned into a riverbed.
To make it across, 53 metres of truck and trailer must be ready for a brutal ride.
I better go and see, make sure that everything's nailed down properly on this load before I throw it at this lot up here. There's been no rain out here where I need it, so I reckon it's going to be really dry, gutless, pinned down like that.
To power through it, Steve will need every one of his 62 tyres.
Hopefully that's fixed the problem. You put a bit of air in and get your tyre moving. Plugs often seal themselves as the tyre moves around and builds up a bit of heat. They often don't too.
Time for battle. Steve's got an arsenal of weapons to fight the sand. Weapon 1, his cross locks.
For this soft mongrel stuff up here, I'll engage my cross lock in the back axle. That way I've still got plenty of steering, but it gives me a lot better traction.
Steve's cross locks turn his truck into a four-wheel drive. Weapon 2, tyre pressure.
We have that back diff engaged, and I'll drop my tyres right down, and then I'll lock everything up to hit the soft sand.
Weapon 3, and the most important, momentum.
If I can get up enough speed, I might roll through it. I need to see my line and I need to see my track.
But then, something he didn't want to see.
Come on, get out of my way.
Other road users.
Get going. God, I can't stop. These idiots are in my way.
Steve's forced to slow down.
Yeah, I'm going to punch whoever's there fair in the nose. Shit, we're losing traction here. Big time. Oh, I don't like it. Come on, old truck. Come on, old truck. You can do it. Gee, I might get lucky. I might get lucky. Yep, I'm going to do it. Well, there you go. Thank goodness for that. That is a huge, huge relief.
Heavy floods have hit the rich farmland hard.
And this has been going on for 6, 8 months.
I can't believe this water's still here.
And it's like every time you go down there, you never know what you're in for because the roads are just underwater.
With farmers cut off for weeks at a time, Sludge and his 20-ton tanker carrying 55,000 litres of fuel provide a vital lifeline, if they can make it through.
We're going through farmers' paddocks, you know, and they think, oh, yeah, you'll be right, you just duck down through this track. But, you know, 50,000 litres of fuel, 55,000 litres of fuel going down a farm track, it's a lot of weight on a track that's made for a Land Cruiser or a tractor.
A lot of weight. And Sludge's road train is about to get even longer and heavier. It's hauling a third trailer, carrying 18 tonnes of steel.
A mate of mine lost a shed down there last week. Builds big dome-style sheds. We're going to take some coils of sheet metal down there, and in return, they're going to cut all the domes up, and he's going to give me some to go over my containers here at home. So he gets a free load of metal down there, doesn't have to pay for the freight, and in return I get a big dome shelter to go across my 2 40-foot containers. Although I'm getting a shed for nothing, I don't want it to hold my fuel up, because we'll end up with farmers running out of fuel just because I'm doing a little perk job for myself. So I've got to be a bit careful that it doesn't bite me in the arse.
Sludge is racing to supply fuel to farmers, desperate for a good harvest after extreme flooding. Complicating his task are the 18 extra tons of steel he's delivering free to a friend, who in return is giving him a shed.
It's helping my mate out, and I'm getting something I really need, but it's putting the pressure on us. But I'm getting a $10,000 shed for nothing, and he's getting his freight down there, so sometimes you just got to put up with it, really.
Already running 2 hours late, he gets a call that throws another spanner in the works.
So Stephen Lloyd is out.
The fuel delivery close to where he's dropping off the steel has been cancelled. Now he'll have to drive out of his way.
So now we're going to have to go all the way down to do the shed, when I was actually going down there to do a farm. You call it character building is what they call it. I call it just trying to piss you off.
The extra weight could make his going tough on the waterlogged roads.
They're having a hell of a lot of trouble down here with roads. You know, they don't build roads like they used to anymore. The roads are just falling apart, and we're coming up to our busiest time of the year, which just turns the whole lot to a bloody schmozzle. They're talking more rain down here today, so I'm hoping we're not going to get a wet arse. So I want to get out before it rains, especially with this load.
Up ahead, his first dirt road.
So hopefully it's open, but if it's closed, we've got probably a 30k round trip to get around the other way. No, it's bloody closed. Look at that. Wow.
Closed means more lost time. Closed roads have forced tanker driver Sludge onto a detour that's thrown his plans into chaos.
I don't want to end up bloody stuck down here.
He still hasn't made his first delivery, and the third trailer loaded with 18 tons of rolled steel is making the drama worse.
I don't want all the coils covered in mud, so we'll just drop it off here. And I have to come back and pick it up, so that's going to be another hour. Bloody wasted. Oh. No, this should have been a nice, easy trip. You're doing something to make life easy, and it just turns to shit again, bites you in the arse.
Sludge's GPS doesn't tell him what roads are flooded or the best route around them, so it's map time.
17 k's back. 17 k's is a long way.
Sludge will have to come back later for his trailer.
Oi, my little trailer.
Right now, his priority is his customers.
I haven't really got any time to waste. Oh, looks like we got another road closure.
The road's closed, but Sludge is in a hurry, so he's rolling the dice.
Like the road's closed.
Maybe he can get through.
Let's hope we don't have to do a U up here and go back out the other way. You can see the velocity of the water's come through and just cut half the road away. So there's a lot of rain to come down to do something like that. We're all right up here on top of it, but if we get down into the waters and the hollows down here, the road surface will be soft because we are 50, 70, 80 odd tonne. So if we break through, we just disappear.
Sludge might be in luck. The road in front is dry and good. It looks like his gamble has paid off. Until this.
That is the end of that. I'd say that road's pretty much sort of closed, really. The amount of water that's on that.
He gambled this road would be open and found a river running through it.
Oh, well, it's called time management shot up the arse.
And when you're a 25-metre long B-double, reversing out of trouble is a truckload of work.
I love U-turns like a hole in the head. So at least I can turn around here. I don't have to back 10 kilometres. That's what you call a classic waste of 30 kilometres.
It's a serious setback. 2 roads tried, 2 roads closed. Sludge should have made 3 of his 6 deliveries by now.
The pressure's on to supply them and get it in there.
He hasn't made any.
If we don't get the fuel in, the crops will be ready to go, and then they've got no fuel, so they can't run the machines.
And he'll lose more time reattaching the trailer with the steel coils he just parked up.
I was hoping to see this trailer in about 2 or 3 hours' time, not in about 2 or 3 minutes' time. You win some, you lose some. You just lost one. Every time I have to hook and unhook this today is going to piss me off, but then I'm just going to have to remember that it's for me. I'm doing this for a new shed.
He'll have to take the troublesome third trailer with him while he finds a way through to his next stop.
I love getting involved. It just excites me to death. Here we go again. Let's have another go at this. Yeah, we've got no road clothes on this. This is the start, but pretty much this is the last option. There is no other road. The last time I was down this road, it was underwater down here as well.
No water this time. His first break on a trip that's been threatening to fall apart.
It's only 2 hours later, and we've made our first drop. So it's a waste of 2 hours. So 2 hours tonight gone. The joy of being a truck driver.
Sludge still has 5 deliveries to go.
Scotty Lawrence, 4,000 litres and some ULP.
But the water is not finished with him yet.
You go right through that mud.
Another bog hole. It could be nothing, or it could ruin his day. Tanker driver Sludge is battling flooded roads.
If it's like that, I tend to normally zoom through a little bit. I just don't like getting everything wet and dirty. I don't have to.
He's well behind schedule, racing to deliver fuel to farms in time for the harvest.
It's a hard time of the year, you know, like you push yourself to the limit all the time. Today we've got 6 drops, so we'll stop, we'll start, we'll bloody run around. We've got petrol as well today, so 6 drops is not just 6 of diesel, we've got 3 or 4 drops of petrol. So you've got to change your pumping gear to the other one, so it all takes time.
Putting extra pressure on his schedule is the favour he's doing for a friend.
We're going to head down towards Esperance, drop this off to me mate. They're going to unload it for us and reload it, and I'll go out and do some more fuel deliveries.
At the mate's place, Sludge is finally able to rid himself of those heavy steel rolls. At last, he has an empty trailer.
Next time we see this, it'll have my new shed on it.
But there's still 1 fuel delivery to go. Sludge is way behind and needs to get it done in a hurry. But once again, the weather is threatening to stop him.
We've got a big storm going through out there. There's more weather coming in, so I don't want to be stuck on this bloody road when it gets wet, because it just turns to an ice skating rink.
There's bitumen a few kilometres ahead, and it can't come soon enough.
We've only got a few k's left to get off this road. It's starting to get a bit slippery. Very stunning bit of bitumen this. It's only 1 lane, but it's better than the muddy shit we were just on. At least it's not slippery. Now we're just about out on the last farm in captivity, really. There's only probably 1 more farm beside them, and then start heading out onto the Nullarbor.
Last fuel drop completed. Sludge has only 1 job left. Pick up his trailer and the free shed that's caused him all the grief, if it's ready. And it looks like it is, loaded and set for the journey home.
Here she goes. She's on a good backer. Take that, Yogi.
But before he goes, one favour deserves another.
Just got to fill this larrikin's truck up with fuel and then I'm done. So everyone's happy. Chris has got his stuff down there. I've got my free shed. How more happy could you be?
Finally, he can head back to Perth.
Party time!
There's no pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, just a trailer load of tin. There's warning signs overhead, severe weather all around, and the first part of the journey is on dirt. If a grader hasn't been through, the road is guaranteed to be rough.
Usually when it gets to its worst, the grader gets called. So sometimes the grader's been there a week before I get there, and sometimes it gets there a week after I've been over it. Most of the time, it gets there a week after I've been over.
A bad road and a monster load. 3 trailers, 2 with heavy roadwork machinery, and a third carrying steel tipping bins.
We're just putting these bins on top of each other and welding them together so they'll travel better. And I can take 4 bins on one trailer instead of 2.
But today, nothing is going smoothly.
This.
And then, a more serious setback, bringing everything to a standstill.
Well, we're just getting ready to go. The starter motor in this truck's been sounding a little bit funny. It's just dropped its lunch altogether now.
A dead starter motor means a major repair job before Russell can go anywhere.
I just got a young fella coming around. You going to give me a hand?
It stopped him from setting off on a 2,000-kilometre journey across the continent.
We'll pull this one off, we'll take the other one off, then we'll just swap them over. It's just as easy to put another one on because we're here and we got one. Yep. Something's gone wrong inside here.
But they don't mess around when the crusher's in a hurry.
"50 minutes from disaster to running again. Not bad."
At least he can get this monster 50-metre road train moving. Even if he's heading north when he wants to be heading east.
Yeah, I'm a day behind and I'm still in the Northern Territory.
Russell reaches the turn-off to the shortcut. He can't resist checking to see if the road conditions may have changed.
Pretty sure with the amount of water that's around on the side of the road here that this road's going to be shut, but just for peace of mind, I'll just sort of pull up here and walk down to the sign and have a look.
They're listed as 4-wheel drive only, which means, they've got a weight restriction of 4.5 tonne, and we're around about 100 tonne, so we're well over that.
95 tonnes over the limit will be a hard one to explain to the authorities. Russell has no choice but to go the long, scenic way. Next morning, a new hazard.
It's a little bit hilly out here. We've got a bit of a crosswind and we've got a bit of a parachute on the back of the third trailer. We've got this pyrometer here that measures the exhaust temperature. We don't like to go over 6, but it's getting fairly close on some of those steep pulls back there. Once we get over the top and start running down the other side, it pulls back down again. But the gauges are all laid out here for a reason, and that is so that I can keep an eye on it and just make sure that I don't push it too hard and tilt the engine.
The gauges are important, and so are the warning signals.
Just popped the shutdown light, it's come on.
But with an extra 600 kilometres to drive, Russell isn't in a hurry to pull over.
I can sort of look at everything in front of me here, and there's nothing to worry about. Once I get everything all back down to cool down again, it should go out. It's, for me, it's not dangerously overheating, but this light's warning me that we're on the limit.
It's telling him to cut the engine immediately. But Russell has a different take.
There's nothing to worry about. It's probably just sort of being careful, you know, like once I get everything all back down to cool down again, it should go out.
Another dial has been alerting him the exhaust is running hot.
What we're keeping an eye on here is the exhaust temperature. That varies by how much I put the accelerator down.
The oil gauge is also pointing to trouble.
That's reading quite high, but I believe it's got a faulty sensor. I think it's a false signal, and that's what's bringing on this shutdown light over here.
At least the water gauge is giving a normal reading.
Traditionally, the water temperature and the oil temperature travel together, and so like one can stop working and you can still tell what the reading is by looking at the other gauge. But the fact there's a difference between the two, I think that's where we're getting a false signal, which is throwing this light on. That reading that we're getting there just isn't right. I just know it's not right.
He's backing himself against those annoying gauges.
I've been driving this old girl that long. You get like a sixth sense. You can have no gauges working and you still have an idea what's going on.
The pressure to keep going is trumping the pressure to pull over.
As I'm reporting in, I'm getting the hint that they're really looking forward to seeing me, as in they sort of need the equipment that I've got.
But then, there's a gauge Russell can't ignore. He's running low on diesel.
Getting a little bit low on fuel, and if these things run out of fuel while they're hot, it's not good for them.
On these trips with no petrol stations for miles, he carries his own supply. 2,000 litres of diesel in 2 big tanks behind the cabin. It's a simple job to pump into the truck's main tanks.
Normally you just click that on there, click, click, turn the tap, diesel goes in here. Easy.
If you have the right gear with you.
The boys putting the fuel hoses and filters and everything in a box for me. The only thing they forgot was the adapter that makes the cam lock from that fit these pods. So I can't get the fuel out of there into my truck.
His engine's at risk of being wrecked. He needs to transfer fuel from his backup supply into the truck's tanks quickly.
The valve seats cool down quicker than the cylinder head, and they actually fall out. And then when you go to start the truck up again, the seats are out and the whole motor's destroyed. So it's particularly critical that I don't let it run out of fuel.
But he's missing the connector he needs to pump it.
Without that, I'm a bit buggered.
His solution? Siphon the fuel. But that means sucking on the hose, risking a mouthful of foul-tasting, toxic diesel.
I've temporarily overcome my problem by just running the siphon hose into there. But it'll take 2.5 days to fill this up. So it'll just keep the motor running while I work out what I'm going to do.
Russell's bought himself some time. But he needs to find that connector, or the engine will stall and could be destroyed.
But I got everything except for the cam lock that goes on there. Oh, okay, mate.
Russell has a solution, but not one that thrills him.
Just got to get a couple 100 litres in here and I'll be happy.
Siphon again, but this time with a wider hose. A bigger chance of a bigger mouthful of diesel. Russell crushes trying to siphon toxic diesel without getting a mouthful.
Wasn't real keen on siphoning it out of the pods and into the tank. It was easy for the first bit, but once it gets down about that far, it was going to involve diesel and in-mouth and wasn't going to be good.
He needs enough fuel to get him to the next town.
Yeah, I've got plenty of fuel in now to easily make it to Mount Isa.
While he has enough fuel, there's still the issue of the engine running too hot. Russell's been ignoring the red light on the dash, warning him to shut down.
I just know it's not right.
He's convinced it's a false alarm.
Just from experience, I know that it's getting a false reading on the oil temperature.
It's bugging him. Time for a Russell Crusher solution. Unplug it.
We've got the light to go out. I don't think I've fixed the problem, but I've stopped that light distracting me. We're not travelling too bad today. We lost a little bit of time mucking around, getting that fuel in, but I'm going to be on target to knock over roughly 1,000 k's for the day.
In Mount Isa, Russell's in luck.
Yeah, we got this thing. It's not the exact cam lock fitting that I was after, but we'll be able to take the hose out and put it in here.
He can now transfer diesel from his emergency fuel tank.
With a bit of 100-mile-an-hour tape, we've managed to get the hose to fit, and we've now got the fuel flowing up through the filter into the tank here. This hose here will only reach to this one tank, so I'll probably just fill this tank up. It'll equalise across to the others.
but not for long.
Motor's just cut out on this old girl, mate. I'm gonna have to pull up here somewhere.
The engine's lost power.
We've got to get this thing to cool right down, just in case it does cut out.
If the engine cuts out without cooling down, it could seize. Russell tries to jump-start it back into life.
Here we go.
It's a job with multiple loads, multiple customers, and multiple headaches. At the moment, it's the rough Tanamite track serving up the pain.
It is the harshest road that I know of, or that I've been on in Australia.
There's a strap drag on the ground here.
What? On what truck?
The middle trailer.
Right here. Oh, it's close. If that grabbed it, it just would have gone snatch. She would have made a nice little mess. Obviously, it's vibrated and the little latch has come out and she's just free-spooled, so why does nothing ever go to plan on this road? The deadline doesn't stop.
Deadline doesn't change?
We have to be at Cooper Pedy. And yeah, it's going to be a long night by the looks of it. Maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11, something like that, before we get off this dirt. We're about a day behind now, where we were hoping to be. I've had no phone service, so just got to hurry up and get to Alice and sort everything out. So it's pretty straightforward rule, really. It's just the bigger you are, the more right of way you've got.
But now a problem that could stop him dead.
We are running extremely low on fuel, which is not an exaggeration.
To make matters worse, Mark's truck has a fault with its fuel tank.
The fuel surges in the tank and it picks up air and shuts down on us.
To avoid sucking air into his fuel line, he needs a flat road with no sudden stops.
I just want to be able to make that nice sweep straight into the fuel bowser with not applying the brake at all. Fingers crossed.
Unfortunately, the last leg into town is down a long hill.
Just use the trailer brake.
Followed by a sharp turn into the fuel station.
Oh, you pig. I told you it would do it. Oh. It's just like reading a book.
Mark's engine's cut out. And he's lost his power steering.
It f***ing did it exactly where we thought it would.
Really?
On the last turn.
What a f***ing.
Hopefully I'll just get it up this ramp a little bit. Look at that, it's the fuel station. Pig.
Right.
Whoa, there we go. Nah. Come on. Yes. Head back in action. Not running nice. Not happy. Every truck's different. Everything's got its own little quirk. So we'll give it a nice big boot full of fuel and it'll be nice and happy. Hopefully that is not a sign of things to come for today.
Tank's topped up.
G'day, it's Mark, mate. How you going?
A quick phone call to his customer.
We'll be there by the end of today, ready to load.
And it's 450 kilometres to Mark's first job.
We're out of Alice. We're on the road to Cooper Pedy, but we are stopping at Marla first so we can load this machine on. I'm sure it'll all go smooth. What could go wrong? Just hearing a weird noise. Could just be as simple as a change of wind direction. That's not wind. That's not good. Get a copy back there?
Yep.
I've pulled up, but something has majorly sounds like gone wrong.
Hopefully there's just something loose. Pulley's gone. Just something there. Yeah, the pulley's gone. What a of a day. So I need a new alternator belt and a new idler pulley.
Without an alternator belt and an idler pulley, the electrical system is crippled. Adding to Mark's frustration, this truck's just had a service.
When I told them, I said I want everything replaced. Cost of a $10 part, we're stuck here for no reason. When all these belts were already off. How many days ago, Matt? All. It's not rocket science.
Time for Plan B.
So we're going to take the troop carrier off so we can go back into Alice Springs and get some parts.
But Matt, a trained mechanic, may have found a silver lining.
That idler that only runs aircon.
Yeah.
So I can keep launching if you want, and you can just chase this down.
Yeah, we'll do that.
The damage is limited to the air conditioner. Matt and Brad can keep trucking, while Mark heads in the opposite direction, hunting for parts.
So I've got to get back to Alice and then get back to Marla tonight and then get this all sorted out. So, but I don't know whether this part's in stock. I'm going into the unknown, but I've got no phone service, so I can't ring.
Originally from Montenegro, Eunice Hodrich has a new Opal lease 200 kilometres south, where he's keen to try his luck.
I was around here for a few years, which didn't do any good, so I'm gonna try down there.
For a one-man mining team, there's no better friend than a bulldozer.
I call her Queen of Desert. She was always in the desert anyway, that machine, anyway.
About 54 tonne. Little fat thing it is.
That's a lot of weight to load, with zero margin for error.
Have a look how slack the tracks are.
And steel tracks on a steel trailer.
Here we go.
Gives precious little traction.
Plenty of people have dropped these off the side. Just that's where it gets a little bit hairy because they got to give it a lot of throttle to get it up. And then if one track goes the other one, it can sometimes go whoop. He's a good operator, old Eunice.
Next stop, Coober Pedy, and a big day of work. After this move, there's 2 more machines to shift.
We'll go from sun up to sundown. Like, there'll be no stopping. To try and get this all done, we're just going to keep going non-stop. So just work as a team and get it all happening.
Orders, shooting mate.
Righto.
First drop off.
I'm off the road. I'm happy here.
Enjoy there.
Thank you.
Time for Eunice to strut his stuff again.
If you fire him up, mate, and lift the ripper up.
Sat there. When it went off the edge there, she did a little bit of a shake, but glad I wasn't driving it.
Well, good. I'm really happy anyway. I'm just gonna take me another about 1 hour crawler down there, and I start digging a few holes, that's all, and see what's happened.
See you, Eunice.
On to the next job, collecting a bulldozer in Cooper Pedy for prospector John Dunstan.
That looks pretty simple.
But things might not be as simple as they seem.
Yeah, can I copy there, Mark? Mark Cromwell?
Yeah, copy.
Yeah, you got to come in through that gate.
Thought we were tracking it out here.
No, it's not to be done that way. The bulldozer has to be picked up right where it's standing now.
Is this a setup or what?
No, this is serious, mate. We don't want to chop the yard up.
Nice to tell me that just before I drove past.
The yard manager's very particular about how he wants it loaded.
And I said to him, we don't want the ground, just chopping all the ground up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of traffic comes in here and we don't...
No, he's coming in. He's coming in.
I'm trying to go back.
When you come off of the sea containers on the right-hand side, you can do a big arc around there. No worries, you come back in front of the dozer. You can go back towards where the gravel is, hold in the corner there, and by the old Army 6x6. Then backside the dozer, you'll be right.
We'll see if the little man is happy with this. All done.
And we'll go and grab the excavator. Yeah.
To collect the excavator, the team head off-road. Now it's on to the new Opal claim.
Corrugations are back. No matter where we go, we can't escape the corrugations.
On a bend, John spots a potential hazard.
Don't want him to do a tyre in. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay.
But Mark needs to keep his momentum to make it up an incline.
Oh, do not make me stop. Get into it. Get into it. Go on. Now, get ready. We're going to stick the thong up at here. Come round a blind corner, he was parked in front of me, and then all of a sudden there's this jump up right in front of me. I think we're here. I think this is the road. Thank God for that.